Cortana!
Jesus Christ, Battlefield 6 is the most agonizing beta I've ever had to apply for. You see, EA made you have to watch at least 30 minutes of some random mid-slop Twitch streamer playing it in order to even get a key, and then once you get a key, you then gotta go into your PC BIOS and enable secure boot, which is easier for some than it is for others. For me, it required multiple resets. Wasn't exactly easy, but once it was up and running and I was finally in Battlefield 6, I had a pretty decent time, I guess. But after all of that work EA makes you go through just to prevent hacking, it seems they failed. All those steps are completely pointless and more of a burden for whoever purchases this at a full $70. The fact that you have to reset things in your BIOS to play a $70 game, yeah, no, it's ridiculous. And it's pointless because it would seem it didn't stop anybody from still hacking in Battlefield 6. Now, I'm not here to actually bash EA or Battlefield 6. There's plenty of other people that'll do that. For the most part, I think EA does have a winning formula here with this title, but this is just a beta. And yet, even though it is just a beta, that has not stopped people from wanting to hack and use AimBot. From day one, there was already people doing this. I haven't experienced it, but several accounts of hackers ruining entire lobbies have already been posted all over online. You could associate a couple of those with salty players, but when it comes to wall hacking, it's just blatantly obvious. And to do it in a beta, like how much do you have to suck to be cheating in a beta? Hell, there's a forum on unknowncheats.com already talking about this. I'll leave a link down below. However, today's story is a little more complicated than that. We've got clips of a Twitch streamer by the name of RileyCS_, a Twitch streamer who's posted several clips on X showcasing their skills, or as others would put it, quote unquote skills. You've probably seen the clip several times across social media, and per usual, like always, it's somebody trying to be a little anime cat girl, but I'm not trying to make the same mistake that, everybody else online is making, and it's a direct attack on them as a person versus what they are doing. Boo! But when you've been at the receiving hands of a hacker, the rage is completely understandable. But it's always better to be more calm and collected when responding to these types of accusations, because I'm not gonna lie, the clips are pretty damning. That doesn't mean it's impossible for people to be this good, but there are several instances in these clips that raise an eyebrow, that aren't properly answered for, leading to some believing that Riley here may actually be using AimBot, and I can see why one would think that. Let's roll the clips for you.
Wow, I flicked straight at that guy through the wall. Oopsie.
Cheaters! Yeah, cheaters! You've been cheating!
No, I'm not gonna lie. There are many instances I have seen people who are so good, you would assume at a first glance they are cheating. I have seen people that good. And yet in spite of that, I have also seen people who are naturally good and they still opt for cheating to give them that little extra assistance on top of the skills they already have. Why they do this? I don't know. Most of those kills alone are not enough to determine whether they are aimbotting, but there is that specific moment at the 13-second mark of a clip right here where we can see that they turn immediately to the position of an enemy who is right behind a rock, and they quickly readjust. Of all the clips out there, this is the most damning. Riley then follows it up with saying, "Oopsie, I shot that player through a rock," subtly giving away that he may have been aimbotting. This led some to defending Riley, saying, well, the minimap was there. All Riley did was flick his mouse in the direction of the approaching enemy, but that minimap does not account for altitude. This very damning clip led to a bunch of big accounts quote tweeting and replying, ratioing the living shit out of the original post, claiming hacks. Everyone from Tectone to Rock Solid to even Mighty Keef. Usually I see hackers catch a lot of flack, but Riley here specifically caught, well, pure utter hate on a level I haven't seen before. And that would be understandable because what kind of jackass would be hacking and aimbotting in a fucking beta to make a perfect 90-degree turn and lock straight onto where the enemy is but accidentally end up shooting a rock that they are behind? That doesn't seem like map awareness to me personally. If Riley was indeed that good, I'm pretty sure we would have seen him at every major esports event. But instead, they stream on Twitch pretending to be a little cat anime girl. Now, of course, I am far from even being a competent Battlefield player, much less a competent FPS gamer. I couldn't verify through my own expertise alone, so I brought on someone who I know is terminally online when it comes to playing video games. I couldn't think of someone who I know personally that is this good at video games and knows them better than they know their own American history. That being, of course, Tink Uwu, friend of the channel, and I'll leave a link down below so you can subscribe because the information here is valuable. We had a 26-minute long call discussing everything we saw here, and I've narrowed it down so you can hear the thoughts of someone who plays first-person shooters religiously taking a look at this. Okay.
So the good thing about the what is basically just the default rifle is that it fires really fast. So even firing from the hip, you can still spray somebody down pretty well at a close range, you know, like that.
Yeah.
Aim down your sight, you can still spray somebody down, even like this. Aiming for the head, however, becomes more and more difficult the further away you are. So, we'll take a look at this clip, the first clip.
Oh my god, you did follow me in Delta Force Air.
Just look at that ridiculous, steadiness.
Like,
That's
yeah, and the thing is that, like, sure, the second person that jumped into the line of sight, yeah, that doesn't seem too sketchy for me, because like you're already firing and then you see somebody jump into your crosshair. Yeah, that's fine.
That was so
But
long.
over here, you'll see, like, miss, and then like immediately like the first miss right there, and then toggle aimbot. And
right
then
there.
toggle
There it
aimbot.
is. Yeah, go back. Go
Toggle
back.
aimbot.
I
Yeah.
saw that.
So,
I saw that.
so basically, toggle aimbot, toggle aimbot, toggle aimbot. He misses, or it's like she, because she's trans. I figured that out
okay.
in the Twitter comments, but I'm not going to disrespect because of that. But still, bitch ass cheater, because like miss right there. That's where you're aiming. That's where her fucking mouse aimed, and she realized like, oh, I'm going to miss this shot, and then toggle. Just, I believe in this clip, because these are all different clips. The clip right here, the aimbot is set to aim center mass rather than headshot to make it not look as crazy.
Oh my god, what the fuck? That was nuts!
And then right here, this is the most damning evidence, is where
Yes,
aimbot
this
is
one. I
toggled
saw
right
this
now.
one. Yeah, this is the one that everybody on X was turning back to. Yeah. Press play on this one.
So essentially, the thing is that the aimbot gets toggled. Like, immediately looks over here, you can see it just like kind of flick over, and then as soon as the aim down sights allows for shooting, aimbot is already kicked in, and then boom, forgot
right
to
there,
turn it off.
right
because-
there. There's
Yeah.
no. I've never even seen a pro player do that.
Well, I have seen it in CS only because it's like common spots on a map where you wall bang.
Yeah, but this is a new
not
game.
a wall. This is not a wall bang spot. Like, this is a mound. It's a hill that you can't shoot through. You can't destroy it. You can use it maybe an RPG to like create a hole in it, but you're not going to shoot through it. One person did point out at the map down there at the bottom, you see that somebody's been shooting, so they're showing up as red. My argument is you could see like their eyes, like the VTuber's eyes are actually moving, like where they're looking.
Oh my god, what the
Like,
fuck? That was nuts!
They have eye tracking, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you'll see they're looking straight forward. They're looking at their crosshair because they're looking at that number on the side. That's what they're looking at in order to toggle on and off aimbot.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
the VTuber's model is not like the eyes aren't moving. They're staying center of screen because that's what she's looking at. So, with that being said, because of how just our reaction times and our brains work, she's looking for that, that kill, the red right there. And that is like a 0.03 fucking second reaction time that you'd have to have in order to turn it off.
I see.
But because of the fact that nobody has that much amazing reflexes, you'd have to have. So essentially what she's doing here is she can't react fast enough to turn off aimbot, so it started shooting through the wall right there because there's an enemy behind. Because aimbot kicked in, and then she's like, oh wait, that's a wall. So she walks around, puts on aimbot again, it turns it off. And then turns it back on to try to shoot that guy. And then there's not a target, and she started shooting through that wall, probably because the aimbot was still kicking in.
I think, what about that clip we brought up where they're like, oh, I shot them through the wall, oopsie.
Yeah, that's the second clip.
Wow, I flicked straight at that guy through the wall.
Yeah, I flicked straight at that
guy.
I flicked straight at that guy through the wall, and then
Oopsie.
Oh,
you got caught.
they're giving it away.
Yeah, you got caught. That's another thing, is that
that's why they were banned right there, probably.
So,
as you can see, all of it is completely speculative. We don't have a solid way of confirming whether this is aimbot or not. Only Riley can really defend themselves in this situation, which they decided to do. It's crazy what having good FPS can do for you. Ah yes, the pinpoint perfect aim snapping is all thanks to the high FPS. Now, I mean, yes, high FPS can help you in a game where the fluidity is key, but it's not gonna make you automatically snap to targets that aren't even within your field of view. I seriously can't even believe he said that. I'm gonna go ahead and just assume that was sarcasm. So let's look at the other defenses. Blatant, obvious cheating. Not cheating. Okay, not the most convincing of arguments. Let's find another. Cheating below 720p is impressive. I must say my eyes was screaming watching these videos. Not cheating. Okay, another copy-paste reply. Well, next. Aimbot. No. Okay, at this point, I'm starting to get sick of this Riley person. Another cheater at EA Help at Battlefield. Sorry you feel that way, but I'm not cheating. 013, nice aimbot there. Amazing flip around and perfect aiming right for the enemy that's behind a rock. I miss the days when cheaters weren't so blatant. Not cheating. You can see the aimbot at 13 seconds. Where? Explain the turnaround at 0010 to 0015. Look at my mini-map. Finally, so far, like an attempt at some better defense here. While, yes, the enemies do appear on the mini-map, Riley still turns to the exact pinpoint location with the reticle right on where the enemy is. Yes, he had to adjust to actually shoot the enemy, but it doesn't change the fact that they knew exactly where the enemy was, even pre-firing before seeing anything. You could equate that to just pure skill. The problem is when other hackers are a part of the conversation and are able to pinpoint exactly what aimbot looks like, and that is exactly what it looked like. And he also followed it up by saying, I just flicked at that guy straight through a wall. Oopsie. He blatantly snaps at people who are behind walls and rocks. The mini-map defense just doesn't hold up here. Some even claimed, oh, they were relying on sounds. Yeah, I'm sure Riley here could hear the enemy several meters away. No. It's fair to say that these are some terrible defenses. So, Riley then attempts to give verifiable evidence that there was no cheating in this next set of tweets. Used a webcam to prove I'm not cheating. Can't wait for week 2 at the Battlefield 6 beta. Now, based on the footage here, this is indeed Riley's best defense, to their credit. Now, slowing the footage down, there is a bit of stream latency there. I don't think this actually disproves anything because hand cam footage alone is insufficient to definitively prove there is no aimbotting here. Aimbots can be heavily configured to be nearly imperceptible to the human eye off of mouse drags. And well, when you got a little bit of latency on the stream, it's even harder to tell. Regardless of that, it's hard to deny that the gameplay here is significantly less impressive with the hand cam footage. As expected, that was just simply not enough evidence for Twitter. But then again, nothing is ever really enough evidence for Twitter in Riley's defense here. So more evidence was demanded. Hand movements not matching gameplay. Show us the Task Manager live stream. Showed the Task Manager many times during stream. Should have been there. The VOD is public, so you can go see for yourself, luckily. Now that is actually the absolute best defense and evidence Riley can provide. However, that doesn't change the fact that that task can be outright hidden or closed off in a second monitor. However, the situation, regardless, remains contentious, with no concrete proof either way from the provided information here. It's all entirely up to you guys until we get further clarification. So tell me what you think in the comments, but it does get a lot more hilarious because Riley then goes on to say this. At Twitch support, hello, please ban this streamer using aimbot. Please. Twitch usually only bans people who are actually cheating for that. Oh, really? Is that the case? All right, then let's see. 3, 2, 1. Oh! Riley is banned from Twitch.
Oh no! What happened? Oh no! How terrible! That's just awful! How terrible! Oh no!
Oh no! And their Discord is also not available right now. Did they get banned there or did they close the account? Oh my god, you can't make this up. Very poor choice of words there. In all fairness to Riley, this could just be the results of being mass reported, and it can also be due to the fact that people tagged Twitch on this post that got over like 24 million views. And usually, unless you're a Twitch partner, they're not gonna side with you the majority of the time. It doesn't help though at the moment that there was over 500k concurrent players for Battlefield 6. And at the same time, there was over 300,000 potential cheaters and hackers that were booted from the game because there was a rampant hacking problem. It very well could be that Riley here is innocent. I highly doubt it, personally, and I don't think Twitch is the best at deciding whether or not someone is hacking or cheating either. As a matter of fact, Riley gave us an update. Unbanned soon. Stay tuned. Now, I just want to clarify that this doesn't prove anything either because the first offense for cheating is short-term, resulting in usually a one-day ban. You have to have repeated offenses for it to be even longer than that, so this also doesn't prove if Riley was innocent. As far as we know, his EA account hasn't been banned, which would be the ultimate sign. Hopefully, once they are back on Twitch, we'll be able to verify once and for all that they are not hacking. And this is all just purely skill. There's always room for doubt, and it very well could be that Riley is innocent. And well, if you want to be there when we find out, then you should definitely like, comment, share, and subscribe if you so choose to. With that being said, I'll see you in the next video.
Free Congo sucks ass.